Hey, salam alaikum, everybody. Um, so yeah, I said I went to Cairo another time. That was on the 28th and 29th of May. And what nice people I met. Nice people on the train, nice people on the microbuses, just nice people everywhere. I decided this time when I went to Cairo that I would try to avoid taking taxis at all costs. And boy, was it an interesting experience. I wanted to take what the local people take. I forgot that when I get from the train station, that there are microbuses that go there. You just have to cross the street. If you walk an extra 5 to 10 minutes and you wait an extra 5 to 10 minutes, you can do the microbuses. And I did 40 to 60 pounds of traveling in about 375, which is really cheap. The U.S. Department of State actually forbids its employees uh, who work in the embassy in Cairo to use the microbuses. That's what it says on their website because they're so dangerous. People die every single day, and I see why. I mean, it was pretty dangerous. Um, for one point in time, I had to. There was an open door right next to me, and it was not like a van, a big van, but it was a huge microbus, and I was holding on to my life because this guy was going so fast, and I could have easily flown out and just been thrown across the road. Yet next to me, hanging out, swinging in and out, was this little boy who would take money. Um, Really interesting. It reminded me of Fayoum when I went there. It was the same sort of system where you had one driver and you have this young kid who goes around and takes money from people depending on where they're going. There's a certain price. Um, Al Azhar is where I went for Friday prayer. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I was like, "That's it. I'm leaving in 2 3 days. I'm gonna do it," and I did, and it was beautiful. When I went there were three large green trucks waiting outside the masjid. Um, each one looked like it could hold at least 20 prisoners, handcuffing them to the seats, and it had a bunch of riot police inside. So I don't know what that's for. Maybe just to intimidate people. Maybe there was a riot coming up. Maybe it's the whole political situation in Egypt and how you have al-Baradei who wants to do that. You have new groups of people. I mean, people are really trying to change things up there politically. So it's going to be interesting what we see for the next few years, or next year, I should say. And they have elections, by the way, for Majlis al-Shura. I don't know how to translate that. Maybe cabinet or something. Shura. When you go to someone to make shura, it means you go to them for consultation or advice. And Majlis is a council of people. Literally, it's a place where people sit down. The guy who gave the Friday prayer speech was Sheikh Salahuddin al-Nassal, and he gave it about being sick and being troubled and how it's a good thing. And we shouldn't be so pessimistic about these kind of things. And I loved it, and it's been very appropriate to a lot of people I've seen lately. One of which is my grandmother, who's very very ill, and that's why I've canceled a lot of things here in Syria to try to spend time with her every day. She's really old, and I still push down right here, just barely, in my back, and nerves are still hurting me, and so, but I'm great. I feel excellent. Alhamdulillah. Thank God. Um, there was recitation before prayer, of course, which is normal in those big mosques. They passed out books, probably for, I don't know who the guy is. They said he passed away. I gave the book back because I just have too much weight. It was a little book. Maybe it's a way to get ideas out there. You go to a big masjid and then you write a new book, you publish it, and you pass it out for free to the first initial batch of customers. What was interesting is that I got there 45 minutes early. It was pretty packed. I mean, sometimes in America you could get there 10 minutes early and still get to pray in the front row. But this place, I mean, is huge. I went to, finally, on that Friday, I went to Saladin, or Salahuddin, or however it's said in English, but in Arabic it's Salahuddin. I went to his citadel in Cairo. Oh, it's beautiful and huge. I spent 2 hours there and I couldn't even go to every single place. I mean, it's just huge. It has a military museum. Very interesting. Lots of parts were closed or open, but I wasn't allowed to see them, and you're rushed along by guards. They're like, Amale, Amale, which means, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. How are you? And I just keep looking, and he's like, Amale. And and then I turned around to look at him, and he was pointing. He's like, "Go along on the tour line." I was like, "Wow, that was really rude." You have to pay a pound. That's all, 1 pound, less than 20 cents, to go and take your camera in there and take pictures. And I was like, "No way! I'd rather leave my camera here with you, and you give me a key to my locker." I become so cheap, I'm just thinking of in pounds, and I'm trying to save the most amount of money. Changed a lot. It's weird, really weird. Um, wouldn't have done that a year ago, and so I've been really affected. I've been hanging out with people, and I'm like, I want to save as much money as possible. Of course, I haven't been like that with everything, but just interesting. I went to Sayyida Sakina's maqam, radiallahu anha wa ardaha. She's the great grandchild of the Prophet. It's very cool, little masjid there. The guy was yelling at me because I didn't keep my shoes with him so I could pay him 50 piastres, which is interesting again. I was like, no, Egyptians go in there and they take their shoes in their hand. And he's like, but you're coming here to take pictures, you should do this and donate to the mosque. I don't even think what I give to him is going to the mosque. And then I took a microbus up to Muqattam. I walked for 45 minutes first. Um, it was it was really cool. Remember, Muqattam's on a big hill. When I was down there the next morning, I bid my friend farewell. The microbuses were going very quickly. I mean, seriously, I was sincerely afraid. You have winding roads off this big, I don't want to call it a hill, and I don't want to call it a mountain, but it's might be a little bit like a little mountain. I mean, it's huge. It's very tall and elevated, and you can see across Cairo at night. It's beautiful, really, really nice, and the air is clean. It's a cool place. So you have the very fast winding roads, and the kid, we're all packed. The seats are full, and usually that means enough. But a kid got on as well, and he stood right in front of me, armpits right there in my nose and my face, and did not smell good. And so that was not a good experience. What was interesting is as we were going down, I looked up on Salahuddin Citadel, and I saw little cameras every 100 meters or so. And so you have this citadel that was used there, for watching, for enemies and stuff. And now it's been modernized in a very interesting way. I went to Sayyida Aisha's masjid. That's Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq's daughter. Her maqam is there. Nice people on the microbus every day, and they led me to Imam al-Shafi'i's mosque. Now, Imam al-Shafi'i, one of the four Sunni schools of thought, the main ones, he's the eponym of the third of the fourth, chronologically speaking. I was really affected when I went there, and I was like, man, this great scholar, he came here to Egypt, and he spent the last 5 years of his life here, and he's, a jurisprudent, and at least, or maybe we could say founder, because Imam Shafi'i, unlike the others, I mean, he thought a lot. He came up with these new ideas, and he wrote, Al-Risala and renewed it, and just, I mean, great scholar. I went to a place, there's a place dedicated to Rabi'a al-Adawiyya, but she's buried in Iraq, her Hassan al-Basri, if you know about these people. I would love to go there, but I can't, unfortunately because of the war going on. Now, Imam Shafi'i, why did he come to Fustat, which is the original name of Cairo? He went there to see Imam Layth to get knowledge from him. That's why he traveled. And so I went and I saw Imam Layth's, masjid and his maqam. I saw Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. This is the they say Amirul Mu'mineen when it comes to the hadith. I mean, he's just the great hadith critic and exegete, if I could use that in terms of prophetic traditions. But he wrote Fath al-Bari, which is his tafsir of Imam al-Bukhari's hadith. And sorry for using all these terms if you don't know what they mean. Ibn Ata'illah Skandarani. This guy was in the mountains. And I forgot to say that I met this guy in the Imam Shafi'i complex, and his name is Omar, or no, his name is Abu Bakr. His name is Abu Bakr, and he's like, "Can I take you around? Can I have the honor of taking you around?" Which basically means, "Can I be your guide?" And you pay me. And I said, "Yeah, it would be the honor would be mine." So he told me that I need a whole day trip. He's like, "Come back another day. I'm always in Imam Shafi'i's mosque. That's where I basically live." And so I didn't get to take him. I didn't get to go. Amr ibn al-As, I mean, this is the guy who was the main military leader who opened up and conquered Egypt. Um, he has a masjid, but the guy told me he's not buried there. We went to another place and we saw a Sahabi whose name escapes me at the moment. This means a companion of the Prophet. And to imagine that these guys went from Mecca all the way to Egypt and made it there in 20, 30 years is really amazing. And he told me that he may be buried around this area, but I don't know.